everyone, it's Nabi, and today we will be talking about a group of K-pop idols who have been called out for watching a certain anime and why. I originally wasn't planning on talking about this at all since I usually don't talk about boy groups and their controversies, but I've seen a lot of exaggerated opinions that I disagree with, so I just wanted to both explain the situation so that others can be aware of it and also share my opinions on it. Now, I don't know exactly how everyone started noticing, but a couple of days ago it was discovered that TXT's Soobin, NCT's Taeyong, 17's Woozi, and ateez's Mingi had all watched a controversial anime or read the manga named Made in Abyss, which, if you've never seen it, it follows the journey of a young girl and her half-human friend as they make their way through the dangerous abyss to find the young girl's mother. Soobin said in a live that he didn't think the first season was fun, but the second season was. He mentioned that the story was really good, but it's not an anime he would recommend to fans because it's kind of provocative. Then in an Instagram story, Taeyong posted a video showing off his red boots, and in the corner of the photo you can see the 11th volume of the manga, kind of confirming that he is somewhat a fan of it. Then in another live, Woozi was naming animes that he had watched recently, listing Uncle from Another World, Komi Can't Communicate, Jujutsu Kaisen, Shikamaru is Not Just a Cutie, and finally Made in Abyss. Lastly, it was discovered that when Mingi was on a fan call, he said that it was one of his absolute favorite animes of all time, while mentioning that it was a bit grotesque. At this point, you're probably thinking, so they all watched an anime that's a little dark. What's so controversial about that? Well, though the show has been praised for its world building and graphics in the past, it's also been criticized for its depiction of violence and pedophilic content, as the protagonists are shown to be tortured, strung up naked, wearing provocative clothing, has mentions of their genitalia, and more. These scenes I've left on the screen are the ones that are being talked about the most. It's important to note that both the anime and manga are heavily censored in Korea, with either these scenes being taken out or cut very short. At the moment, there are mainly two ways fans are seeing this. One side is immediately jumping to call these idols pedophiles, while the other is defending them and saying they did nothing wrong. And when I asked how you guys felt about it on my community tab, I honestly got a little nervous to share my opinion, since it seems to be the less popular option of the two. And that's cause I don't really think the idols did anything wrong. And you know what? I cringe at thinking that because I really hope I'm not coming across as the ride or die psycho K-pop stan that will say anything to defend her faves, because I'll be real honest and say that I don't give a fuck about any of these idols I just mentioned. Again, it's no secret that I am not a boy group stan, and I am well aware of the fact that male K-pop idols are still men, and don't doubt that a lot of them are assholes. But I don't think it's fair to assume that here when they are no different from you or me. But Nabi, we didn't watch the anime or say that we enjoyed it, so how are we at fault here too? Well, yeah, you're technically right because you didn't watch the show, but you're dismissing two very important things. Number one, watching a show with dark subjects does not mean you believe or agree with the scenes, and two, you're being a total hypocrite. A lot of people kept on bringing up the fact that the idols said they enjoyed the show and ran with the assumption that that must mean they enjoyed the pedophilia, but this is a huge stretch. Like I previously mentioned, the anime is incredibly popular and critically acclaimed for its world building and animation, meaning the creator was able to shield the criticism of pedophilic scenes through its success like most of the anime industry does. So although the scenes were disgusting and were made to satisfy pedophiles like the creator of the manga himself, that doesn't mean everyone who watched it was one and enjoyed it. I think a lot of people are forgetting that you can intake dark media without agreeing with it, which is odd considering that it's something we all do. For example, I know K-pop and anime are two interests that cross over very often, so that means I also know most of the people who are calling these idols pedophiles for simply watching the show are hypocrites, because pedophilia is so normalized in anime that most are simply desensitized to it. You like watching those sweet shoujo animes? Well, they cleverly hide a lot of shit while you're focused on the love story. And Kakeguri, an anime that trended in the K-pop community at one point with people making edits of idols, sexualizes school uniforms and minors. But a lot of fans who are criticizing these idols conveniently forgot about that. And even then, there's more where that came from if you go in with a magnifying glass like people are doing with Made in Abyss. And if people always take things so literally, does that mean people who like Attack on Titan also like genocide? Or taking this a step out of K-pop and anime, are those who enjoy horror films psychopaths? How about those who watch true crime, real stories of people getting killed? Does that mean they want to murder people? No, it doesn't. So I think a lot of people need to hop off their moral high horse and take a good look at themselves, because they wouldn't be innocent if they were being judged by their own standards either. We need to put an end to this witch hunt and focus on the bigger issue. If you're angry and disgusted, that's valid. I feel the same way and almost threw up after watching one of the scenes, but throwing serious allegations against people people who do the same thing you do every day will never be okay. Going forward, if they still choose to read or watch it, that is when I would distance myself. But for now, we should be directing the outrage to the right people instead of shifting blame and attention, because calling idols pedophiles on Twitter isn't going to get those scenes removed or change the industry that allowed for those scenes to be made in the first place.